A Nightmare on Elm Street, the second member of the horror big three. Now this movie's up for debate for being the best out of the three. To me personally, it's top two along with Halloween. Mainly because what separates this movie out of all three, in Friday, the kids go to the killer. In Halloween, the killer comes home. In Nightmare, the killer is in your dreams. Nightmare on Elm Street is directed by horror veteran Wes Craven, who also directed Scream. It stars Heather Langenkamp as Nancy, your main title girl, and Robert Englund as your star resident burn victim, Freddy Krueger. Most people know Freddy for being very talkative and wisecracking. Well, that's not the case for this one. Only later in the other films is where they make Freddy very talkative and wisecracking and also corny. He gets too jokey to the point of satire where it's not even scary anymore. But in the first film, in this film, he's very dark, scary, and menacing, and sadistic. The movie is simple in premise though. It's just a bunch of high school teens who are having nightmares that kill them. They kill you in your dream, they kill you in real life, that's it. But the true mastery of this is how unique this movie is. Mainly when it comes to the character Freddy and the dream world, especially the kills as well. It's not contained by the limits of real life. It's a dream. Anything goes. Anything can happen. In the sequels, it does get a little bit more crazy, but in the first one, it still is rather unsettling. A couple highlights pertaining to the kills are Johnny Depp's character, who gets swallowed by his bed and then has a vomiting explosion of blood onto his ceiling, which they did by having a revolving room go upside down and having it and shooting it upside down, so it gives off the explosion effect that we see in the film. Another thing this movie has going is Heather Langenkamp as Nancy. It gives a strong female lead in a time where usually the character just runs around and screams. Nancy, on the other hand, when she knows how to deal with Freddy, she prepares in great detail once she brings him to the real world. Now, the only negative this film has is by far the soundtrack is it's recognizable, but it's not as iconic as, let's say, Halloween. And the other thing is the ending. The ending is terrible, just flat out. I know Wes Craven didn't want to put this in the film, but obviously producers have a say in that matter, so if it does well, they want to leave it open for a sequel. So by doing this terrible ending, they left it open for a sequel. Like, come on, really? He's pulling like a life-size blow doll through the door. Like, it's terrible. And we're supposed to believe that's a human being? Nah. The side characters are kind of forgettable, except for one being Johnny Depp. He is kind of bland. Just the boyfriend character, really. The only other character that has any depth is her father, who plays the sheriff. Pretty sure that even maybe today the film gives people nightmares or makes it tough to sleep at night with the idea of a serial killer running around in your dreams. Definitely a must watch. It's 100% a classic. And unlike Friday the 13th, I think this one is a great film, which is tough to say because there's so many sequels, there's so many to pick from. I believe this was probably the best film out of all of them. But there are, unlike the other two, there are some in this film franchise that are actually good, if not great, compared to the original, while the others are kind of like lacklusting in that area. So 100%, if you haven't watched it, watch Nightmare on Elm Street. Not the remake, watch the original. This was Very Geek. Leave a like and comment down below, and let me know if you've seen the movie, which is obvious that you probably have already. But if there's anything you want to talk about, let me know. Comment down below. And subscribe if you're new here. I also have my social media down in my description below. And check that out and follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat. Alright everyone, if you see jump roping girls singing a melody counting to 10, maybe that's your cue to either wake up or just accept your fate. Bye guys.